Hello and welcome back once again to my take. I'm Hussain here. Welcome back. Well, you have seen this beautiful Lamborghini, Trump's Lambo. And also, you see it here, 25% tariff on cars and trade war. There's a trade war. Trump and tariffs go together. Trump wanted to make America great again, MAGA. Come what may, he wants to make USA, America great again. He believes that all the wealth of USA, America has been taken away by the countries. Jobs have been taken away by the countries. Manufacturing from USA has been taken away from the country. And they have robbed USA. These are the statements of the President of America, Donald Trump. He wants to make it great again. He wants to bring back all the jobs. He wants to increase the GDP of the USA. He wants to increase the employment level in the USA. He wants to do all the things he can do in his power to make it great again. For that, on the 2nd of April, we all know that reciprocal tariffs are going into effect for all the countries in the world. He believes if you charge 25% tax on our goods, we will be charging you 25%. If you charge 50%, then you have to pay 50% for your goods in USA. That is reciprocal tariffs. Not only that, from 3rd of April, the President of the USA, Donald Trump, has announced just a day back that he is going to impose 25% tariff on all the cars the USA imports. Not only the cars, even the components of cars, the parts which the car manufacturers require in the United States. Don't forget that most of the cars sold in USA come from other countries. They come from Japan, they come from South Korea, they come from Mexico, majority of the cars. They come from Canada and also they come from Europe. These countries supply cars to USA and many other countries supply the car components and parts which the cars are manufactured in USA. So the president has imposed 25% tariff on all the cars imported in USA. Not only that, the car components. It leads to trade war. It has big impact in the entire world. Let's see in this video what impact it has on the world, how the other countries are finding it, and what impact it has. And at the end of the video, what is my take on this? So before that, I will be giving you some statistics. How many cars come to USA, which are the major countries which sell cars to India, and what Trump is expecting from these countries is that they should come and manufacture cars in the USA. If you're manufacturing in USA, no tariffs on you. If you manufacture in your country and send it to the United States, we will impose 25% tax. The new levies on cars and light trucks will take effect on April 3rd. I told you, from April 2nd, we have reciprocal tariffs that if a country is charging 20%, Trump will be charging 20% tariff on your goods if USA is importing them. So from 3rd, the day after Mr. Trump plans to announce reciprocal tariffs aimed at the countries responsible for the bulk of the US trade deficit, they come on top of duties already announced on steel and aluminum and on goods from Mexico, Canada and China. So from 2nd of April, all the countries have to face reciprocal tariffs. And immediately on 3rd of April, 25% tariff on all the cars and car components the USA imports, they have to pay for this. The USA imported, let's see some statistics, 474 billion worth of automotive products in 2024. In 2024, 474 billion worth of automotive products in USA, including passenger cars worth 220 billion. Mexico, Japan, South Korea, Canada and Germany, all close US allies, were the biggest suppliers. These are the biggest suppliers of cars to USA: Mexico, Canada, South Korea and Germany. According to, let's see how the world leaders are reacting to these 25% tariffs. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen described the move as bad business. Words for consumers. It's a bad business. Who are the most sufferers here? The consumers. While Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney labeled the tariffs as direct attack on Canadian workers and said retaliatory measures were being considered. So there is a big trade war going on between USA and Canada. Moreover, let's not forget, Trump wanted to take Canada as 51st state in the United States. He wanted to merge it. What he said, the Canadian president, we will defend our workers, we will defend our companies, we will defend our country, and we will defend it together, the Canadian Prime Minister told reporters in Ottawa. Let's see how the Japanese Prime Minister responded to this. He said, Tokyo will put all options on the table in dealing with the new tariffs. They're also thinking of dealing with these new tariffs, what kind of action they should be taking it. Let's say how it affects these tariffs, 25% tariffs of cars. There's not much of effect on India. Let's see. USA President Donald Trump's 25% tariff on imported cars and auto parts will primarily impact Tata Motors luxury car unit, that is Jaguar Land Rover, JLR, which relies on the US for over 30% of its sales. Land Rover is there, Jaguar's Land Rover, 30% of his cars are sold in the United States, so it will be impacted because of this 25% tariffs. Indian auto components, which contribute 27% of exports, especially these are affected because these auto component manufacturers, they export 20% to USA, such as Sona Constor and Samvardhana Motherson. These are the two auto manufacturing components that will be impacted because they will be sending 27% of their sales to USA. Otherwise, it won't have big impact on Indian car manufacturers because we won't be directly selling many cars to the USA, because most of the cars in USA come from, I told you many times, number one, South Korea, they come from Japan, they come from Germany, they come from Canada, and majority of the cars come from Mexico. We will be seeing some other statistics, how this 25% tariff imposed by Trump affects Indian business, Indian car manufacturers. While the decision has sent shockwaves through the global auto industry, the reaction in India has been mixed. At first look, the broader Indian auto industry seems largely insulated, but the auto component sector, which currently attracts just 2.5% duty, will feel the tariff heat in the short term. India exported 2.6 billion worth of automobiles and auto components to the US in the financial year 24, accounting for 13% of the country's total auto and auto ancillary export of $21 billion. Of this, passenger car exports to the USA stood at just 8.9 million compared to 6.98 billion global car exports, meaning only 0.13% of India's car exports are US bound. So India is not much affected. This is 25% tariff on car and car components because we export to USA a minuscule or very minor car and car components are sold to the USA, like the statistics I gave you just now. What impact these tariffs have on the world stock market? Global stock markets plummeted with automakers Toyota, Hyundai and Mercedes leading the plunge. In New York, shares in General Motors tumbled with Ford and Stellantis also declining. France finance minister said the UE is to raise tariffs on American products in response. They said all the European countries are going to raise the tariffs on American products. Trump has threatened Canada and Europe, EU countries. Why? Because I'll read out to you. Trump ramped up his threats, saying on social media that Canada and the EU could face a far larger tariffs if they work together to do economic harm to the USA. If they join together and trying to harm the USA, Trump threatened them he is going to impose more tariffs on their products. And who is one person who is benefited and who is not affected by these tariffs? That is Trump's confidant, that is Trump's best friend. You know that, Elon Musk, who manufactures Tesla cars. Because they are manufactured in the USA and there are no tariffs on those cars. Maybe many of the critics say that he wanted to promote these domestic sales of Tesla. That's why he's putting 25% tariffs on all the cars imported in the United States. And now let's see here. The Center for Automotive Research previously estimated that US tariffs could raise the price of a car by thousands of dollars and weigh on the jobs market. So because of these tariffs, what happens? The price of cars in the USA will go up. People won't be able to purchase such expensive cars. About 1 in 2 cars sold in the United States are manufactured in the country. Among imports, about half come from Mexico, believe it or not, and Canada. Half of the cars sold in USA come from Mexico and Canada, with Japan, South Korea and Germany also major suppliers. All these countries have to pay 25% tariffs if they are selling their cars in the United States. So at last, my take on 25% tariffs on car and car imports in the United States. If USA is importing cars from any country or car components from any part of the world, 25% tariffs will be there. So my take, this orthodox trade policy of Trump may work or may not work in the short run. Trump is putting this orthodox trade policy to test. Maybe in the short run, he may not be getting the dream results what he's aiming for, making America great again, increasing the jobs, increasing the manufacturing, increasing the production, and taking America to great heights, and GDP of the USA should zoom. Now, maybe in the short run, there may be disruptions of supply chain. There may be disruption of components of car manufacturing coming to USA because of tariffs. If the parts of the cars are not coming in the USA, the car manufacturing in USA will have a major blow. The production line will stop, leading to unemployment in the economy. Because of the tariff hikes, because I told you, most of the cars in USA come from Mexico, Canada, Germany, South Korea. So the price of cars may go up. According to some estimates, the price of each car may go up by $6,700. So that will be a huge increase in price. As a result, the consumers will not be in a position to buy cars, so sale of cars will come down. It will slow down the economy. But maybe in the long run, there is a big hope. Like they say, every cloud has a silver lining. Maybe in the long run, it will have positive impact, but definitely not in the short run. Short run, it will lead to trade war. The countries who are importing American cars may put the same tariffs on American cars, may stop buying American goods in other countries. So it will have a big impact on USA as well as the other parts of the world. The stock market tumbles. Many of the car manufacturers' sales may not go up. And in the long run, maybe they will be different, because some of the car companies, maybe Toyota, maybe Mercedes, Merc, maybe Hyundai, they don't want to pay huge, heavy 25% tariffs, so they may agree to manufacture in the USA. That will have a positive impact, that will increase the production, that will increase the output in USA, and job opportunities may go up, or maybe they increase the GDP of the USA. So then Donald Trump's dreams may come true in the long run, but not definitely in the short run. But hope for the best. This kind of tariff war, this kind of impact on the world may lead to recession, may lead to depression, may lead to trade war, may lead to all kinds of other complications in the world markets. Thank you for watching the video. Till we meet next time, goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like our videos, and definitely make a comment. That will give us a big motivation to produce more videos. Thank you guys. Thank you.